Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sorium. For those of you that are new and don't know how to say my name, it's Sorium. And so today's video, I am going to be talking about my pregnancy, my first pregnancy with my baby Amara, and my experience, kind of what I can remember. She just turned 1 in August, and like I can't believe it. It's been so crazy. I can't believe she's 1 already. Time is going by so fast. So I wanted to film this video. Honestly, I wanted to film this video way earlier, but it's been crazy. We bought a house last year. I was 6 months pregnant, 5 months pregnant when we bought a house. We like sold our old house, bought a new house. And we had the baby, and you know, we were trying to like organize our house, and it's just been crazy this entire time. And so now that she's 1 and she's growing so fast, I really wanted to take the time and make the effort to make this video and to kind of like think back and really remember what I went through in this pregnancy and what we had to go through to get pregnant. If you haven't seen my PCOS experience and my story, polycystic ovarian syndrome, then I suggest you click up here. I have it linked, my PCOS kind of story, and I also have it linked below if you want to check that out. It's just my experience with being diagnosed with PCOS. Yeah, so today I wanted to talk about my pregnancy, my first pregnancy, my first baby. She's the love of my life. I'm just like, I can't believe I am blessed to be her mommy. Like, I'm just so happy about it. So I want to talk about that and kind of like jog my own memory and talk about my experiences, how I felt, the birth, which was crazy, and just a little bit of how she's doing and where we're at right now. So to start in the beginning, I kind of went over the whole thing with trying to have a baby in my PCOS story, which again I'll have linked below if you want to check that out. It gives a lot of backstory on my history and what we had to go through to just like conceive. So she was definitely a miracle baby. We prayed so much to have her because we were ready and we wanted her, and you know, we wanted any baby. You know, if it would have been a boy, it would have been fine. But we had a girl, and
no, you need help.
Yep. Drum roll.
Get married again.
Together. 1, 2, 3, go.
don't move it.
Can you see it?
Okay.
Oh my God, it's gonna be blue. Don't take it out. It's gonna be blue.
Dos.
Ready? Pull it out.
1, 2, 3.
Never fails, Gary.
Oh, man.
I told him. What is that?
Team girl. Mommy, over there. Mommy.
Team girl.
Oh man.
I also have linked below her first birthday and some other videos where you can see her growing. I did vlog a little bit when I was home with her for the first 3 months for my maternity leave. So anyway, I'll have all that stuff linked below. But yeah, so we got pregnant in the beginning of January 2017. Technically my last cycle was the end of December, so that's where they like pull your due date from your last cycle before you didn't get your period anymore, before you're pregnant. So my last cycle, I think, was like December. The last day of my last cycle was, or I think they go off the first day, I can't remember, but I got my last period December 2016. So at the end of the month, that was the last time I got my period. So we basically either got pregnant at the end of December or early January, so we don't know the specific day. So my due date was October 10th. That was the original due date, and I think I said it before, but she was born in August, so it was a little crazy. So to start at the beginning, I found out I was pregnant. I think it was about 4.5 weeks, close to 5 weeks. It was really, really early because I had the most tender boobs, and I just like knew. Once I like, at first I kind of ignored it. I thought it was just like the bra that I was wearing was a little bit tight, so I thought it was just like my bra that was making my boobs hurt. But like I said in my PCOS kind of story, we were at a Super Bowl party. It was, I think, February. It was the beginning of February. We were at Derek's dad's house, and on our way out, we had been there for a few hours, and as we were leaving, I gave Derek's dad a little side hug goodbye, and he bumped. It was like this is the most pain I've ever felt in my boobs, and like right then and there I knew I was pregnant right then and there. The next day, it was Monday morning. Derek woke up, he got ready for work, and he usually left, and that's when I would wake up. So he would leave and I would wake up because I like to sleep. So I woke up and I had one pregnancy test left from like my many trials of pregnancy tests for the months before that. So I had one left, and so I peed on the stick bright and early. I think it was like 6:30 in the morning, maybe 6:45, I don't remember. But so I peed on the stick, and I couldn't wait because I was gonna hop in the shower and then come out and look at it, and I couldn't wait. So like I let it like sit there for like 30 seconds, honestly, and I had to look. So I looked, and it literally had 2 lines, and it was so clear. So I like hopped in the shower and I was like crying. I was so happy, like I couldn't believe it. Like my mind couldn't process it, but I was like crying, like happy tears, but like laughing. It was crazy. I was weirding myself out. So so I couldn't believe it. So what I did was, on the way to work, and at the time Derek and I worked at the same place, so he was already at work because he liked to get in early, but I like just let sleep in. So on the way to work, I stopped at this little like grocery store that has like a pharmacy attached to it. So I went in there, got another box of pregnancy tests, and I got the clear blue or the first, I think it was the first response. That's the one that I got because it said it was like more clear, because I had used like really old like pregnancy tests from like CVS. So I got the first response, and I went to work. I didn't tell him anything because I was like, I wanted to make sure before I told him. So I went to the bathroom at work bright and early, like right when I got there. It was probably like 7:15, 7:30 when I got there. So I went into the bathroom and I took the test, and I like put it on the thing, like on the back of the toilet, and I just kind of like got myself cleaned up, and when I looked, it was positive again. So I had 2 positive pregnancy tests. I was so excited. I was like crying again, like in the bathroom at work. And then I was like trying to figure out a way to tell Derek. So I ended up just like printing out a picture because he was at work, like we were at work. And so I just printed out a picture of a dog because we have a puppy, you know, Kaya. You've seen her in all the vlogs and stuff. So I printed out a picture. It was like a dog showing its back, and like it had a little shirt on, and on the back it said like Big Sister. Like the dog, so I was kind of like that. And then I like taped the 2 pregnancy tests on that, and I put it in like a manila folder, and I just like walked over to him and I was recording. I think I might still have it, so if I do have it, I'll put it in this next section. But then, so I walked into his cubicle and I was recording, and I gave him the little envelope. He was all confused. He's like, why are you recording me right now, like we're at work? So I gave him the little manila folder. He opened it and he just like looks at it. I'll put it in here, and he just like, he's like, for real? For real? So like he couldn't believe it. We were so excited, and he said that. I started crying, and the camera gets all shaky, but I'll put that clip in now. Hey there. I have to show you something.
I'm
really excited right now, okay? Just hold on.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's really good.
It's so good, you want to film my reaction?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
I want to get this for Kaya.
What does that mean?
Open
Ooh.
it. Open it.
What in the world? Where was so confused. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm in shock.
So we were both so excited because, again, like, the doctor's telling us that we might not be able to have a baby, and then we have a baby. We have this miracle baby that we've been praying for, and we were over the moon excited. We were so excited. So the next big thing that happened was we had a cruise. We had a cruise that we were going to go to mid-February, so it was already paid for. The flights were already paid. Everything was set. Like, we were gonna leave in a week to go to this cruise. So that same day that I found out I'm pregnant, I called my doctor's office and tell them, you know, we need to make an appointment because I found out I'm pregnant. We need to figure out what we're doing. And I told them, like, I'm going on a cruise next week, so we need to, like, hopefully I could get in this week. So I went in. I think they saw me the next day, and I went into the office, and my doctor walks in and she's like, you can't go on this cruise. Like, she didn't even say hi. She's like, oh, how's it going? Oh, I'm so excited for you. Oh, you're pregnant. Nothing. She literally just, like, walked in and said, you can't go on this cruise. And I was like, like, I had all these hormones and all these feelings, and I just, like, I was trying to, like, not cry right away. But as she started talking, she was like, the Zika virus is in the Caribbean, and that's where we were going, and you can't go down there because this is, like, the time that if you get infected with the Zika, like, it could affect the fetus, it could affect the baby, it could affect you. And, like, she went off on this whole, like, rant, and she was, like, really digging in, and I'm like, yeah, like, sitting there bawling my eyes out. I started crying. I couldn't hold it anymore, and I was freaking out because I'm like, but we aren't for this, and we already were leaving next week. Like, I was bawling, and Derek was, like, so serious because he hadn't even thought of that. Like, I hadn't even thought of that. We were freaking out. Like, after the doctor's office, we went to Walmart because I wanted to tell my parents, like, right away, because obviously, like, we're super close, so I wanted to tell them right away. So we went to Walmart, and, like, I kind of calmed myself down. We got to Walmart. I went to the little baby section and got a little bib that said, like, something about grandma. I don't remember what it was, but it was like grandma, and we got one for Derek's dad that said, like, something about grandpa's. So we were, like, really prepared for that. We want to kind of make it like a cute little surprise. But in the car ride, we were talking, and I was, like, crying again because Derek, like, immediately was like, well, we're not going on the cruise because, like, if you don't know what Zika does, like, to pregnant women, it basically, like, affects the baby, and you know, they have all these problems. And so, you know, and 2017, like, 2016, 2017 is when, like, the Zika, like, freak out was going on. So Derek even called the travel agency and said that we were canceling the cruise. And when we got to my parents' house, I think Derek, I don't know where Derek went, but I was by myself with so I was waiting for my parents to come home. And so they came in the house, and I was like, I have some good news and I have some bad news. And my mom was like, what? Like, I think they kind of suspected, but they weren't getting their hopes up, so they didn't really say anything. So I, like, had the little bib under the pillow, and I, like, lifted it up and, like, showed them. And my mom was like, ah! Like, she started screaming. She's like, so happy. She started crying immediately. I started crying, and we were, like, hugging, crying, and laughing. We were so happy because, like, it's a baby. It's a miracle baby. And then right after that, I was like, bad news. We're not going on the cruise. And it was, like, a shit show, honestly. It was so bad. Like, we were all crying because we were so excited to be having a baby. But, like, then we're like, oh, we're not going on the cruise. So, so we talked about it. We talked about it for, like, 20-30 minutes and kind of, like, settled me down. And we talked about, like, what we could do, like, if we ended up going on the cruise, like, what we could do to prevent, like, getting bitten by a mosquito, because the mosquitoes are the ones that carry the Zika virus. So then we called Derek, and kind of, like, I talked him down, and then my dad called the agency and told them that we weren't canceling. So we did end up going to the cruise, and it was such a good time. it was like really fun, really nice to go on a vacation with the family. Like it was our family, my family, me and Derek, and then another family like Lydia, my sister. The whole point of the cruise was to celebrate her 16th birthday. So it was like a big trip. So we did go, we ended up going, and I actually vlogged the whole trip, and at that point only my family knew that I was pregnant. The family that came with us on the cruise, they didn't know, but I feel like the mom suspected a little bit, and so I'll have linked below the vlog from our cruise, which was so fun. I didn't really get morning sickness, but I had kind of like, I had morning sickness but not like throwing up. I just had nausea, so I was nauseous all the time, since the time that I would wake up till the time that I would go to bed. And it also didn't help that I was like on a boat, so it's probably a little bit of both, like seasickness and like pregnancy nauseous. But other than that, it was a lot of fun. At that point in the pregnancy also, I was so not even hungry. Like everything that I saw, it was disgusting. It grossed me out. I didn't want to eat it. On the ship, we were on the Carnival, I can't remember the name now, Conquest, I think that's what it was. And there's like this little burger joint that is by Guy Fieri, the guy from Food Network, and we love Food Network. I remember the first day we got on the boat, like the first day we got on, we went to get lunch, and the only thing that was open was the burger place. So we went in, got a burger. I was like, oh, I'm so hungry. I could eat like 3 burgers. I was so hungry. Like that was my thing. Like, oh, I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. And then I got the burger and I sat down and I took one bite and I like couldn't do it. I couldn't eat it. The entire rest of the time I didn't have another burger from there because it was so gross to me. I hardly had any food, honestly. Like I had a pretty good breakfast most of the days. I would have like eggs and toast and stuff, but I wasn't a big fan of lunch and I wasn't a big fan of dinner, and that was the only thing that was kind of like a bummer, because like cruises are like infamous, they're great for the food. Like the food is amazing, and it was just like I was like, oh, no thanks. But I was nauseous all the time. I never got sick, I never threw up, but I was just nauseous all the time, which is really annoying. So if you want to check out my vlog for the cruise, it was so much fun, I'll have that linked. I'll have all those videos in the vlog because I made a bunch. We took really good care. We took like 4 or 5 bottles of off, like the spray, to like douse ourselves in off, because we didn't want to get bitten by mosquitoes. And like anytime we left, like we were going outside, we like sprayed off all over me, and we made sure to get it everywhere, and it was gross, but it was very effective, because when I came back, when we came back from the cruise, the doctor immediately had me go for this really intense blood testing, and they checked for Zika and they checked for other things, and it came back negative. Like I didn't have any Zika, everything was fine. So there were way more mosquitoes in Florida than in the Caribbean, but we still like went crazy with the off, with the insect repellent, which was fine, because like I was fine. I definitely did not want anything to happen to my little tiny miracle baby. So we came back. At that point I was about 5 to 6 weeks. In mid-February I was about maybe 6 to 7 weeks, because I found out I was pregnant close to 5 weeks. So yeah, like my most vivid thing that I remember is the nausea. So I was nauseous every day, all day long. I think that I threw up the entire pregnancy maybe like 4 times the entire time. So I never had really bad morning sickness. I'm not like prone to throwing up because I hate it so much. It's so gross. Even when I'm sick, like I'm not physically sick, I like would rather not throw up. I would just rather feel like shit and not throw up than throw up and feel better, honestly, because I hate throwing up. It's so disgusting. So I only threw up like 3 or 4 times the entire time I was pregnant. And my first trimester was okay. The nausea was like on high alert, my first trimester. then the second trimester, I started feeling a little bit better as far as nausea. I didn't have so much of it, and I can't really remember too much about the second trimester. I think I was feeling better overall. And then close to the end of the second trimester is when I started getting the heartburn. And oh my god, that was literally the worst. It was so bad. Like end of the second trimester and a lot of the third trimester, I just had the worst heartburn, and it was like at that point I actually wanted to throw up, because I thought like maybe getting it out was better than having it be like right in my chest, that pain. It got to the point where I couldn't lay down in bed like to sleep at night, because if I laid down I felt like the acid would just come up into my throat and I couldn't sleep. And then I couldn't sleep on my back because of the heartburn, and I couldn't sleep on my side because it hurt, and I couldn't sleep on my other side because it hurt. So I was just feeling really uncomfortable. And I don't know if you guys know, but I'm like super short. I'm like 5 feet, like pushing 5 feet. So being pregnant and being this short, and my torso is literally like this, it's like this big. Everything was really squished. Everything was really squished. All my organs were really squished. Everything goes up when you're pregnant, like up into like your rib cage, and it's very uncomfortable. And Amara wasn't like a super huge baby. My belly never really got too big, since I am a little bit chunky, you know. I didn't look like I was pregnant for like 4 months, 5 months. Like I didn't even look pregnant. I just looked normal, because I am on the heavier side. So I was kind of bummed about that, because I wanted to look pregnant. Like that was like one of my things. Like I would ask Derek, oh my god, do I look pregnant today? He'd be like, no. He was just like messing with me, but like I really wanted to look pregnant, and I didn't, and it like was making me sad. I had a lot of hormones. I had a lot of emotions. Literally anything on Facebook that I saw about a puppy or a kitty or like soldiers coming home to their families, I would like just bawl my eyes out, like real dramatic, real emotional, like the works. It was a lot. Like sometimes I couldn't even handle myself. I'm like, why am I even crying? There's no reason for me to be crying, but I was very emotional. I would say like the second trimester, third trimester, I was really emotional. But the only thing that I really remember being absolutely terrible was the heartburn, and the nausea. The nausea kicked back up again the last couple of months. It was really annoying, because I didn't want to eat anything because I was nauseous all the time, and I didn't want to eat anything later on at night because of the heartburn. So I did some research, and I ended up finding that milk really helps with with the acid reflux with the heartburn. So I would chug like a huge glass of milk before going to bed, and I couldn't even go to bed. I just slept on the couch. I propped up all of my pillows and like on the side of the couch, and I would sleep like sitting up like this, because I physically couldn't lay down. And then I got one of those like big long pregnancy pillows, and that was literally the worst $30 or $60, whatever, the worst money I ever spent. That thing was so uncomfortable. I couldn't use it. It was very uncomfortable. So I ended up buying this little wedge, like a pillow wedge. I'll try to find the one that I use. I think I got it off of Amazon. So if you go to Amazon and just search for like a wedge pillow, that was amazing, because I would just put that in between my legs, like right where on my thighs, a little bit like between my knee and my thigh. And that just made a world of a difference, because I couldn't sleep on my back. So I had to sleep on my side. I usually slept on my left side, and I just wedged, put that little pillow wedge in between my legs, and that was amazing. So if you don't like the big long pregnancy pillow, I would suggest the wedge. It was great. I loved it a lot. So yeah, I used the wedge, and I was able to get some sleep. The last couple of months though, I was so big, I was so uncomfortable. I hardly got any sleep. I was like getting up to pee like 700 times a night. Like I probably, let's see, realistically I would get up like 5 times a night to pee. And it was just hard. Like I would drink a little tiny bit of water and I had to pee. Which is, again, it's a normal thing for being a big fat pregnant lady, because there's no room and everything is getting squished. So I started feeling her move. I think I was in the second trimester, maybe late in the second trimester. At first, I feel like I felt her move before, but I didn't know what it was. Once she got bigger and a little bit stronger, and then I was able to feel her move a little bit more, and I loved that feeling. That feeling was amazing. I just loved feeling her move in my belly, and I could like put my hand on my belly, and she would like, I could feel her moving on my hand. So that was amazing. I think that was about 5 or 6 months. It was kind of later. Some women feel their babies move earlier, and I think your second time around, I've heard that you feel like, you know the feeling, so you feel it sooner than your first pregnancy. So yeah, she was really active in the evening. After dinner, she was super active. She was like, yes, give me the food. And then in the morning, she wouldn't move really too much during the day. It was usually after I would eat. So like after lunch, she would move a lot, and after dinner, she would move a lot. And I'll have the links. So I used a couple of apps when I was pregnant. So I used I think it was the Kick. It was like something, an app to track the baby's movements. So I would put it in, I would put her movements in, and then after I had her, I used the baby tracker, I think that's what it's called, that app, which was great for feeding and changing and like the diaper change. And I'll have those linked below. I'll write down the apps that I used when I was pregnant and like after I was pregnant, because those were really helpful. So, okay, so then I don't know if I've said it, I don't know if I said it in this video, but in my PCOS video I did talk about how I have chronic high blood pressure, which is hereditary. I've been dealing with this since I was 11. So that actually played a big part in the pregnancy, because high blood pressure is very dangerous when you're pregnant, especially when you're pregnant, because you could get your blood pressure could get so high that you could get seizures, and you know, so you could die, because the body it's not doing what it needs to do. So another thing that the doctor was worried about was my blood pressure affecting the placenta, which is what feeds the baby and what nourishes the baby, what makes the baby grow. So we were really worried about that, and I was actually put on medication for blood pressure, for my high blood pressure, that would not affect the baby, and so I was on that. Actually, during the whole pregnancy, my blood pressure was really good, like better than it had ever been, closer to normal, like to everyone's normal, not my normal. So that was really good, and I was really excited about that, because I was healthy, I was good, the baby was good, the baby was healthy. Now the last month that I was pregnant, it did get a little bit hard. So the doctors were really watching my protein levels, which is I guess in my urine, that's how they check it, and they were also watching my blood pressure. So as I got more pregnant, my blood pressure actually started going up a little bit. Like the medicine wasn't being as effective as it was before, and so I was seeing my regular doctor, my family doctor, then I was seeing a fetal, what is it called? Fetal medicine doctor, I think that's what it's called. And then I also was seeing a gynecologist, like a dedicated gynecologist, because my doctor is a gynecologist, my family doctor is a gynecologist, but she doesn't do C-sections. So what she wanted me to do was talk to a gynecologist that does C-sections, just in case I would have to do a C-section, and so that I would have that communication with that doctor that would be doing the surgery. So I was seeing 3 doctors the last, I would say, 2 months. I was seeing, the last 3 months, so the last trimester, I was seeing 3 doctors a month, which was a little bit hectic. It was a little bit crazy. I was seeing 3 doctors a month for the last 3 months, and that was a lot. But, oh, and I was getting non-stress test every week for the last like 2 months. So, yeah, there was a lot of doctor visits. It was a lot of like nurse visits for the non-stress tests, and that's when they strap you up to the little this little machine, and it just like records the baby, like the baby's, I think it's the baby's heartbeat, to make sure that it's not under stress and that everything is good. So I had to do that every single week, and I had to see all 3 of my doctors every single week. I think it's maternal fetal medicine, I don't know. So I had 3 doctors to visit for the last 3 months. So the last month of my pregnancy, which was the beginning of August, my blood pressure had gone up higher than normal, and I had told my doctor, like, because I have my cuff, that I have 2 of them actually. I have one at work and one at home. So I would do my blood pressure in the evening, and it would be like normal, like closer to normal, and then in the morning I would take my medication, and then around 10 or 11 I would take my blood pressure at work, and it was just like through the roof. It was so high. Every time I checked it at work, it was really high, and then when I wasn't at work, it was lower, like it was more normal. So I told my doctor about this, and she said, we're gonna see, like, she wanted me to do it again, like maybe 2 more days, and see if my blood pressure was up when I was at work. So I was just stressed out, basically. Like, work was stressing me out. So she told me that she was gonna write me a letter for my job, so that if they could possibly have me work from home. So my job was super nice. They were amazing, because they immediately set everything up for me. They gave me a laptop, and they said it was fine, that there was no problem. Like, it was amazing. They really helped me in that sense, that, you know, they made sure that I was able to work from home without a problem. And so I worked from home. I think I worked from home Friday, because that was like a Thursday. I had seen my doctor like Wednesday. So I took the laptop home on Thursday night and set everything up, and so I worked from home Friday, and I think I even did less than a day, because I was like setting up and trying to figure out like the connection and how to get onto like the work server. So then Monday I was thinking, oh, this is gonna be great, like I get to work from home, it's gonna be more relaxing for me, I'm gonna be able to do it at my own time. And so so usually Mondays is when I had to go get blood work done. So I woke up, I got ready, because I knew I had to go out, so I got ready a little bit, I had breakfast, and I started working a little bit, and then around 8:30 or 9 I went to get my blood work done. And so it was blood work and the urine thing, so they could check my protein. So I went in the morning, they did all that, and at about 1 o'clock, oh, and a side note, that day, for whatever reason, Derek hadn't gone to work, so he took PTO, so he took the day off to kind of just like relax. He kind of wanted to chill out. So I was upstairs in our office working, and he was outside playing frisbee golf. So it's like his little sport. So he's out back playing frisbee golf and hanging out with the dog, and I was working. So I get a call around 1 o'clock, and it's my doctor, and she's like, okay, so I went through and looked at all your blood work, and I checked the protein levels in your urine, and I'm a little bit worried. And I'm like, oh my god. I was like, oh my god, what? Like, my stress level went up so quick. So she's like, so your protein level in your urine last time, which was like a week and a half ago, was I think it was like 7. It should be around a 5, but it was a 7 the first time she checked it, so that's what she was going off of. So your protein levels were a 7 last time we checked your urine, and today it's like a 13, something crazy like that. I can't really remember the actual number, but I think it was 13. So she's like, that's not good. Your blood pressure was high, because they checked my blood pressure also when I got the blood work done. She said your blood work was okay, the protein levels in your urine was very high, and I think you might have this baby today. And I'm thinking, oh, I started freaking out because it was way too early. Oh, I didn't even talk about a week before that, so that was Monday. So the Saturday before, I actually was hospitalized because my blood pressure was higher than they wanted it to be. So I was actually hospitalized. I went to the hospital around Friday. So I changed the memory card because I ran out of memory, and my first little card. So anyway, I don't remember where I was at, but let me go back a little bit. So the week before I had her, I was actually hospitalized. I went for like one of my regular like doctor's appointments with my maternal fetal medicine doctor, and that's like the baby specialist. So I think it was just my blood pressure was really high, and they kind of let me wait in the room and kind of try to calm me down, and it was still high. They checked it I think like 4 or 5 times and it was still high. So they decided to hospitalize me for the night. They said at least for the night. They wanted to make sure that everything was going to be okay, because I was only like 7.5, 8 months pregnant. I can't remember now, but I had her 5.5 weeks early, so it would have been 6 weeks when the first time they hospitalized me. So I had the appointment. They decided to hospitalize me, and so they put me in. I went into triage. They like checked me all in, and so until they found me a room, I was kind of hanging out in triage. And so I was in the hospital until Sunday. So I went in a Friday night and I was there all day Saturday, and then they let me go Sunday morning, I think. So that was really unexpected. We were not ready for that. I was really scared because they had said like maybe like she could have been that early, because my blood pressure, they didn't want, basically my blood pressure was so high that they were worried that the pressure of my blood going through the placenta would make the placenta like come off of where it's at, and it could possibly cause the baby to die. So that's why they hospitalized me, because they wanted really to control my blood pressure and see if it could go down. So while I was in the hospital, I think, yeah, so that Friday evening, my family doctor actually came to the hospital, and we talked, and she told me that she wanted to give me this steroid. I can't think of the name right now, but it is to help make the baby's lungs, like to help them to go faster, like to finish getting made, basically, because the last month of the pregnancy is where the lungs are completely formed. So we talked about this, and she said, you know, it's a possibility that you might have this baby really early, and if we can get this medication in you and it could help her lungs develop faster, that could be just kind of like a CYA, so that in case she was early, you know, she would be okay. She wouldn't need to be on a ventilator, and if she came after that, it wouldn't matter, like it wouldn't affect her negatively if I did get the steroid. So we talked about it for a while, and we decided that we did want to go with the steroid. So it's 2 doses over 12 hours. So I think what they did was they gave it to me Friday at like in the evening, so or 24 hours, I can't remember how, but so then the next day around the same time, they gave me the second dose of the shot. So that actually gave me so much peace of mind, because I knew that if she did come early, then she would be okay. Like she wouldn't need any help. She wouldn't need to be like put on a ventilator. So that gave me a lot of peace of mind. And you know, that Sunday we were able to go home, and then again, like backtracked because I kind of forgot about that. So then the following week, the following Monday, that is when my doctor called me around 1 in the afternoon. She was like, you might be having this baby today, so I suggest you pack up your bag and get what you guys need, and have a baby bag ready, and just go on and head to your appointment, because I had a maternal fetal medicine appointment that afternoon. So like I think it was at 4, I think it was around 4 o'clock. I had my scheduled appointment. It was just, I had an appointment every week basically. So she's like, go to your, you know, get your bags packed up, get everything that you need, and then go to your appointment as normal. Make sure to take your bag with you, and just in case they decide to keep you in the hospital to have this baby. So I was freaking out. And like I said earlier, I don't know if however I edited this, but that Monday was the first day that I had been working from home. So I literally worked from home for like 7 hours, and that was it. And then I went to go have the baby. So that day again, like I said, I don't know if I edited this out, but Derek actually had stayed home that day. I don't know what, I mean, that had to have been God, because he just decided he didn't want to go to work that day. He was going to take the day off and kind of hang out. And so he was home, and so I'm on the phone with my doctor at 1 o'clock. She tells me, you know, you're gonna have this baby today, and I was freaking out. So like I'm upstairs in the office, and I like open the window like after I'm done on the phone with her, and I'm like, Derek, I'm like calling him, Derek. He's like, what? I'm like, I just got a call from the doctor. He's like, okay. He's like, we might be having this baby today. He's like, okay. Like he's like didn't know how to react. So we hadn't had a baby shower yet. We didn't have anything for the baby other than the crib was built, because Derek's dad bought us the crib, which is so nice of him. Her room, there was nothing in her room. Literally, we didn't have anything. We were not ready because our due date was October 10th. So we were thinking, oh, we have all of September. We don't have to worry about it. Like, it was the end of August. The baby shower was actually like September 10th. So like we hadn't had a baby shower. We literally had nothing. So I got ready. Like I finished getting ready because I had already been ready from the morning. Derek got ready, and we headed to Walmart. We went to Walmart. We got a baby bag. We got all kinds of stuff. Like I just like got so much stuff. Baby clothes, bottles, wipes, diapers, literally like just a ton of stuff. And before we had left, so we went to Walmart. We got everything that we needed. We came back home because my appointment wasn't for another 2 or 3 hours. So I packed up the baby bag, and then I packed up a bag for myself, and Derek packed his bag. Then we went to our doctor's appointment, so we had the bags in the car, and we were like, all right, so hopefully, my blood pressure will be better, and then I won't have to stay, we won't have this baby. Like I was like still kind of hopeful that we weren't gonna have her that soon, because it, like the day that we went in, we were 5 weeks, I think 4 days early. So it was early. It was a lot early. I went to my regular doctor's appointment at 4 o'clock, and they checked my blood pressure. Was high, like right when I got there. They did the ultrasound, because I had been getting an ultrasound every single month. So I got a picture of her every month from the time that we found out she was pregnant, that I was pregnant, not she was pregnant, until the 8th month when I had her. So I just realized that this video is going to be longer than an hour if I put it all together, and nobody wants to watch over 1 hour long video. So I'm going to split this up into 2 parts. This is going to be part 1, and then my next video will be part 2, which will be talking about the labor and delivery. So if you did like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and check back in the next video for part 2, where I actually have the baby. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I will see you next time. Bye.